As we move into middle of February, we find that we just relief rally. Government's not going to be shut down, or so they think. And on our way up through new highs, some of the swing highs we had last week, and life is good, right? They might do something in China. They're there this week. Brexit, still a couple months off. We've got time. Relief rally is the phrase for what we have. Makes it tough to trade if you're trying to trade two directional, or you're trying to kick up the frequency of your trades because of the volatility late last year coming into this year. So don't do that. You got to adjust. There's opportunities. They're not around every single corner when it slows down, but the market is moving. You close your eyes, you open them up, we're trading 45, we're trading 55 in the S&Ps. It's a grind. It's a reprice type of last 2 days. So don't get yourself complacent. That's the definition of overtrading. Personal fast market, where you have a higher number of trades than the market does. The volume is light that day and you have a heavy volume considering your own personal volume. Now sit back. There's opportunities and there's qualifiers. Continue to go over your process. Tom mentioned that the other day. What is your process? Last week, I try to charge everybody up in a genuine way in reflecting how important review is. I'm going to touch on that today, and then next week with Peter. I hope people are looking more at your replay feature on Sierra. Let's do a survey really quick. How many, just an impromptu survey, how many people have Sierra charts today? As of today. Who else? There's got to be some more. All right. So we walked over the playback last week. I'm going to touch over an example this week. And then tell you about the verbal journal because people ask me about it. I tiptoe around it, but it's a product that I have. I don't talk a lot about it because I don't want to be salesy about it, but I do want people to get it. It's not that much money. It's a one-time fee. Get it. There's a discount code I'm going to give Edge guys. I'll talk about how I use it in a couple different ways and how you could just use it in one way. And it's a tool. It's a great tool if you use it, but it's crazy not to have it. And it works on Sierra. So let's start with a similar slide that we had last week. And that was this funnel. I'm going to explain it just a little different. These guys in white suits are buyers and the cars equal the sellers. We got enough buyers down in here and we had enough sellers, which are cars, and they slowly move away. We went over this last week. The buyers don't leave. They're looking for new inventory, and new inventory is a little higher, all the way at the top of the funnel, right? Now, if there's no buyers, we're just going to stay here for a while, but buyers start to fill in. Then all of a sudden, a car comes out of nowhere. Ah, shoot, he didn't come in. Boom, there he is. He came in. I'm still sick. He came in backwards. What I wanted to show is a car comes in the middle of nowhere, and boom, he gets bought. So on the way up, he was supposed to come in halfway up. On the way up, he gets picked off. It segues me into what I'm going to review. Somewhere along the line, someone comes in and tries to sell it, but he gets picked off right away because why? He's cheap. The market determined him being cheap, and he got cleared right away. He's almost embarrassed that he sold it. Back in the pit, the way it would have sounded was a trader would have been in there with his one lot and said, 3 bid for 1, and 4 guys would have yelled at him, sold, you dummy. He's bidding 3s, and it's 3 offer maybe. It was a little premature. That's on the bid side. So a seller comes in the midst of all this buying, he just gets run over. Now, I use that example and flip it around for what we talked about last week, hitting and bidding. I want to make sure you guys understand the definition of it first. Hitting and bidding. Hitting means, or bidding and hitting is what we call it. First, let me get rid of this chart or that template. Let me draw on here a second. Before I get here we go. I couldn't find yellow. So let me draw here a second. When you bid a market, you are doing what? You are patiently, I'll use a P, trying to buy it, right? We should all know that. When you bid, you are patiently trying to buy it. On the heat map, it shows up on this particular chart, not with the reds and greens. Forget about reds and greens. It shows up in dark blue or purple. You see them shaded throughout this chart? You see a dark blue in here? You can make these colors whatever you want to make them easier for you to see. That's where they show up. Someone bid down here for a decent size, but then he must have pulled it because it's cut off. This guy bid it, and he must have pulled it because it's no longer there. It's no longer going to the edge of the frame. This guy offered it in here, and he's still there. He started offering it there, and he's still there. This guy's been offering a long time. He's still there. So if I go to offer, it's just the opposite. When you go to offer, you are what? Patiently trying to sell it. You might get filled. You might get left behind. You could be this guy. You started offering it there, and you're still there. Got it? All right. So let's play this about 5 times the speed. And this is from last week. What we see up there is some aggressive selling that seems to come in with some offers, but that's not what we're focused on at this point. Let this thing play through. Nothing really going on. Some edge zone selling, edge zone buying in here, walks it up. Nothing really of interest. Nothing really of interest. Let it walk around, walk through. I gotta speed this up. I went back too far, I think. Now we're getting in there. So right in here, you start to see some blue light up. Did you see that? Let me pause it. Do you see this blue light up? And this first was blue, and he got filled. Let me play it through and then go back and analyze. There's my verbal journal dot.
German press reporting that reasoning officials warned that German companies are not ready for Brexit.
This wasn't actually part of what I wanted to show. I went back too far. It's 57, 857. So as this thing is getting closer to the example, what I do is when we're trading, when I'm doing the room, and I see something, let me pause this real quick, and I see something that I want to go back and play, I write on a notebook I have in front of me the date. I already got the date on top of my sheet because each sheet is a day. I write the time and what the event is, and I go right back to that date and that time. I know what I'm looking for. All right, let's play it. Remember, this is what the play button looks like. Now, couple instances where buyers come in and they quickly give it to them. This guy still has more to buy here at 33 even. And they quickly come down and give it to him. He's still bidding, and they give it to him pretty quickly. And it became at this moment. Did you see these get filled in down in here? No other sequence did we see what we just saw. Nothing in here. It was all noise, no real determination of value of where it could go, what could happen. But a big bid came in, 1,770 something contracts came in, and they hit them. Then other bids came in below us, 32 even, 32 quarter, 33 half. And watch, they're hitting them. That is when, and if you record the trading room, this was just before 9 o'clock on February the 6th, I believe. You're going to hear me talk about the hitting, the bidding and the hitting. You got to bid first and then they hit it. Bid, then they hit it. Bid, then they hit it. That's aggressive buying into passive buying that generally leads to downside. You get a little rotation up, wham, they slam it back down and they go after new inventory. Take a look at what this looks like right in here, right in this box. But in real time, you got to see these things light up. When we come through, we're going down, we rotate up, we come down. This just comes in pretty much, and they hit them. They don't stand a chance. They still go lower. Then something interesting happens. On the other side, what do you mean? Well, let's watch. This is still bearish when they're bidding and hitting right in here, though. This is the ultimate bearish. They didn't bid a week ago. They bid right here. They started bidding right there. All right, so let's come over here. All of a sudden, these guys bid in here. They get filled, but these new offers start to get filled right away as well. So does this give me pause to go straight up? No, but at least a hesitation. There's probably going to be some chop because now they're doing the opposite of bidding and hitting. They're offering and lifting. They're offering, you know, they just started offering and they come right back and giving it to them pretty quickly. Offer it, give it to them. Offer it, give it to them. So you could see there's some continuation to fill some of this inventory that's up there. Let's let it continue to play out because it doesn't go straight up. It chops around a little bit. It temporarily stalls the sell-off. You're going to see something else interesting in a bar. And I picked this up by reviewing. It wasn't what I wanted to review. I picked it up because I reviewed. Let it keep going. So it does chop around a little bit. Sells back off. Fine. Not necessarily an easy short in here. Sells off. Boom. What did I see? I put a verbal journal. Let's stop this and let's open up the verbal journal and listen to what I had to say. Oh, shoot, I'm coming into my headset. I get the wrong speakers. Sorry, guys. You're not going to be able to hear it. But what I said was offering but no fill. Let's watch it. Let's pull this. Take a look at that right there. Did you just see that? I wish I could magnify this for you older guys, but the market starts to come down. All right, follow my cursor. It starts to come down. They start laying offers in the book. You don't see that in the footprint. You'd see that on the dome. Some pretty decent size offers are starting to drop with the market. What you can see is the purple light up, and it's going across. And the reason why it's going across is because the son of a bitches aren't getting filled. Instead of offering and getting lifted, saying, hey, I'll sell 5. Okay, I'll buy it. I'll sell 5. I'll buy it. I'll sell 5. I'll buy it. I'll sell 5. I'll buy it. Well, that's someone buying whatever you're selling right away. But what if you say, I'll sell 5. I'll sell 5. Hey, guys, I'll sell 5. I'll sell 5. Anyone? That's this scenario here, where the market's not, the offers are not getting paid. They're not getting satisfied. They're not getting filled. Play it. They just are fresh offers, not getting filled straight across. To me, that's bearish. To me, that these guys will push this market down before it goes up. Eventually, will they be a magnet and they'll go back up to it? Sure.
Trump saying that you could consider pushing back March 1st deadline if they're close to a deal with China. They prefer not.
Do you see that? Do you see when these come in and can't get filled? The bearishness it created? It happened again in here. Comes across. All right, so let me answer a couple questions. I don't know, Ron, when you asked this question. Isn't aggressive selling into passive buying? Yes. They're hitting it. Aggressive selling, another word for aggressive selling is hitting the bid. Now, the bids could be sitting there, but in the example I'm trying to give you guys today, they weren't sitting there. They just popped in on the bid and got hit pretty quickly. That's the phrase bidding and hitting. They haven't been there for a while. They just bid right away and get hit. They bid right away, get hit. Bid right away, get hit. To me, that's a bearish sequence. When someone offers right away and gets filled, lifted, right? I want to sell 5. I'll buy it. Sell 5, buy it. Sell 5, buy it. That could be bullish, right? Sellers are getting satisfied. But in this sequence right here, let me draw a line around it. In this sequence right here, you would hear the chatter of offers getting loud, but they're not getting filled. Guess what? They're anxious. This is as real time as you could get reading the book with what actually happens without having to worry about a lot of numbers and what's fake and what's not. It's not as much to pay attention to as you think. You just got to be looking for it. And you got to go back and review it using this playback feature. Now, it does matter if these orders might be spoofs, and they might be. But the whole key is we're actually moving. In this whole sequence, the market's actually moving. If I'm short, I want to see sellers start coming in, piling in, and not getting filled. If they're spoofs, then I'll see them pull it. But if they're not, they're going to do what I want them to do, and that is keep some weight on this market. Now, spoofing is supposed to be illegal, by the way. They're not supposed to be putting in orders and taking them out with so many cancellations. So there's a little less spoofing that happens than happened years ago. So on the sell side, John, they're not getting filled, so they're dropping. They could indeed be dropping their price, keeping sell pressure on the market. Just picture yourself selling a house, and everyone in your neighborhood would put a for sale sign in their house, and boom, someone would buy it in a day. As soon as that sign went up, someone would buy it. It was a hot neighborhood. And you expected the same. You put your for sale sign, and for some reason the market changed. Nobody came to buy it. Now you're a seller. And you're like, damn it, you still have a for sale sign in your house, which means you're still got this purple line drawn across because you still want to sell it. The market's running away from you. There's no buyers to come and lift your property and buy it. So now what do? You call your realtor and say, offer it for $20,000 less. And you don't get filled right away on that price. Now you might get anxious. So indeed, you're helping push prices lower. And then if you can, in that metaphor, in this example, you could create some emotion like, I have to sell this house. I got relocated. If I don't sell this house, I'm going to be holding 2 mortgages and 2 property tax bills. I got to get out of this house. Now there's emotions for you to get out. Number 1, you thought you'd sell it in a day. And number 2, you thought you'd sell it for more. Number 3, you have to sell a damn house. That's like being in an open long position and you got to get out, right? You start chasing it. So it's important to know if indeed there's sellers that just came to the market and they can't get filled. That's what I'm trying to talk about here. It's important to know if someone comes to the market and they get filled right away. It's important to know someone's been offering at 49 even for a long time. You see that on a heat map. So it's buyers and sellers that are coming and leaving, getting filled, not, and everything else. Hitting and bidding first. You can go back and replay that instance. And it looks like this. If you're looking for what it looks like this, where it's got a footprint inside a blue box. Footprint inside a blue box. That means and not the blue box that was extended all the way from the left. Blue box just came in, just bid it, he just bid it, and the market's giving it to him. And you know those buyers are like, man, if I just would have waited 5 minutes, I could have bought it lower. Purple bars are representing selling, and the bluish bars are representing buying. And you could adjust those colors. And yes, they represent limit orders. Anything in the heat map equals a limit order. Anything on an edge zone is a market order. Now, Verbal Journal. Go to verbaljournaltrading.com. Edge only is the discount code, and buy the damn thing if you got Sierra or Ninja. You'll get instructions, and so a VJ will pop up in here and say you want to make a note on what we just talked about, what you just saw, and you want to pay attention to, this dynamic. Sellers coming and not getting filled and lines are going across. You go ahead, you hit the green button in the upper left-hand corner. You click on the damn thing. You make it a color. Let's say you make it white because it's something you want to pay attention to. I don't know. You put on here for you, if it's a new concept, you put new concept. Maybe it's new for you. Maybe it's a title you give it to, like offers can't get filled. That's what I call it, but I'm just using new concept for an example's sake. Take a look at this thing. Make sure you got the proper microphone set. You hit record and say, keep an eye on this instance where you're seeing offers come into the book on this heat map, and yet they're not getting filled, but yet they're remaining in the book. Could mean there's more downside. At least make me aware when this is happening so I could judge whether or not my predictive skill of downside, the right side, is correct, and there's some probability there. If it's random, then I'll not look at it. But if there's some probability that sits with it, and I'm bearish anyways, and it could put me in a good location, pay attention to the damn thing. Then you hit stop, you hit close, and the white dot there forever allows you to listen to what you were thinking. Now you guys will go back and play back your stuff and review a lot easier. You got to take notes and you got to be efficient. So where do you go, John? You're asking me. I'm going to show you guys. Where the hell is it? I didn't develop this, but I put this together on myself. The website, take a look at it. Let this thing loop through. I'll show it to you again. Works on Ninja. It's got a little more color on Ninja. Look at all the notebooks that this guy has on his desk. A journal like this cleans it off, allows you to keep everything on your chart, which is what you're looking at all the time. Scroll down, verbaljournaltrading.com is the website. Scroll down, watch these 2-3 minute videos I did on how to use the damn thing. You'll like it. And then buy it. Don't do the monthly because you're going to end up spending more. Use it. Sierra Charts or NinjaTrader 7 and 8. If you buy it for 7 and you move to 8, it'll work on 8 as well. You got to call me about it, but you're not going to get charged twice if you go from 7 to 8. You should be on 8 anyways. But there's a discount if you guys in this video. I'm going to type it in because I don't know if this video ever gets out. I don't want the discount code getting out. But type in the discount code. It's a one-time payment. People lose 10 times as much trading. You got to invest in your potential success. Right here. Click to enter it. Discount code. I'm going to type it in and give it to everybody separate here. Thought wrong, Chuck. Edge only will bring it down. Got another thing you got to remember. The only people that when this thing is upgraded, I'm giving the upgrades for free is this group. I've sold this thing in other couple other venues. What any of the upgrades or updates, they're going to pay for them if they want them. This isn't one of those products where I update, and they have a lifetime ownership of me. But you guys will. You guys get it. I update it. You'll get the updated version. Some of the different things that we're going to do with it. If you don't have it, you're not going to use it. It's that simple. You can write in your notebooks all you want, but it ends up being a stack of notebooks. It is for me. I got my notebook where every day is a page and I write down certain things, but I also write down things I want to make a verbal journal note about, and I go back and I write. That's how I do my notes or my journal notes on the screen. Keeps it pretty compact and pretty efficient. Anybody got questions? Let's stop the recording and go to real time. John, what is it? So Trump's first comments when we were coming on had a little to do with the shutdown, had something to do also with the China trade talk. He can't say I'm happy about border deal. We'll have a meeting on deal later today. Does not expect government shutdown though. So the market, I think, almost could expect him to say that. He's going to say, well, that's enough money to get us started, but we're going to need more. We're going to find it here. We're going to find it there. The market only cares about it not shutting down. Now, remember, you could change these colors in Sierra to make them more visible for you. It doesn't have to be exactly the blues and the purplish that I have. So the chart, the question is, the chart I'm showing only shows me what actually trades. You mean the numbers in the footprint? Yes. The numbers in the footprint is always showing you what trades. Filled orders, essentially. What potentially could trade is what's in the dome. What's bid and offered next to the bid offer prices. The heat map is essentially what's offered in the dome, but you could set it to filter just bigger size offers. Like, this is interesting right in here. It seemed like a couple big bids came in on the passive side and got hit right here, and it kicked it lower. So they filled them. That could be bearish, especially now if it gets through these greens, they could walk down and test this liquidity at 38 and this swing low here. If you could look at this as bidding and hitting just right in here, and this is real time. I don't think you're right until you get below these green edge zone buyers, though. Just don't forget this. It's got to be back of your hand stuff. Edge zones are aggressive market orders that buy or sell. The heat map are passive buyers or buyers and sellers that might want to buy or might want to sell. Okay? Hey, John, you should have one that I shared with you. Don't you? If not, it's pretty easy. If you want to add a heat map, right click. You got to have, you know why? Here's the thing with a heat map. You got to leave it on for a few nights and let the data fill in. You have to have data in it. And initially, it's not going to have any data. It's not going to backfill. So you got to leave it on for a couple days. What I've always done with my charts is I leave my charts on all week, all overnight. On Friday, I shut everything down and reboot and then open things back up. Monday, leave it on all week. But if you ever want to add the heat map, you right click into your chart, go to studies and left click, and it's in this studies available section under market depth historical graph. Market depth historical graph. Grab it out of here, throw it in here. So to activate the heat map, you got to have data flowing, John. That's the short answer for you. Again, next week, Peter Davies is going to come in, but it'll be a 12 o'clock start time, not 11, 12 Central. Let me triple check that, though. Yeah, 12 Central. I'm not going to record that one, John. I'm just joking. Get the verbal journal. Use it with the playback feature, Sierra. Your eyes will wide. You'll get wide open. Your eyes will open wide. We'll see you guys tomorrow and next week. Again, remember, different link next week and a different time for the session. But I'll make you guys aware of that between now and then. We had a good group in here today. One guy got offended because of the language last week. I threw him out. Threw him out of the whole course. No, I'm just joking. Nobody did. All right, let me shut the recording down here.